In the Sefer Abadi Yehudi, he says over here, Nashim chayevot b'Birkat HaTorah, just like our men obligated in saying the Birkot of the Torah, so too women are obligated in saying the Birkot of Torah, even though we know that women are not obligated in the midst of learning Torah. But nevertheless, Rabotai, he says over here, Mipnei shechayevot lelmod et adinim hashaychim lahem, because they have to learn the halachot that pertain to them, like for example, halachot Shabbat, muktzah, nida, mikvah, chatzitza. There's a lot of halachot that they have to know. But Rabotai, Baruch Hashem, be'avnoteinu harabim, today we have a lot of time to spend with them everywhere, but to learn these halachot. One more halacha, he says over here, Hani'ur b'leil Hoshana Rabbah u'b'leil Shavu'ah u'Shavu'ot v'chadumei. If a person stays up, like we do on the night of Hoshana Rabbah or on Shavu'ot or anything similar, Hayav levareh Birkot HaTorah la'acher she'alei amud hashachar v'chen ha'minhag pashut v'ein tzorich l'shmu'an me'adam acher she'yashan. Rabotai, we know that when we say the Birkot of the Torah in the morning, like we mentioned yesterday, we only say it until we go to sleep. What happens if you have a person that he doesn't go to sleep all night, like Hoshana Rabbah, Leil Shavuot? What are we going to do, Rabotai? We're going to, once already hits dawn, we stop learning, and we start saying Birkot HaShachar and Birkot HaTorah, even though, Rabotai, we did not go to sleep. The only two brachot you're not going to say is Asher Kedishanu b'mitzat v'tzvan al nizal yadam, and also Asher Yatzar, unless you went and you took care of your number one or number two. Okay, Rabotai, I want to share with you a small Mussar over here. He brings down over here. We spoke about it yesterday, about Miriam and Yocheved, to why they were called Shifra and Puah. Right? We spoke yesterday about that Shifra was Yocheved and Miriam was Puah. Why did they go after these names? And we explained yesterday because Yocheved, she was able to straighten the bone of a child, and Miriam, she was able to calm down the children. In the Sefer Olam HaMidori asks a question. They were prophetesses, Rabotai. They were nobody simple. So why do you go after their name of Shifra and Puah and not after Miriam and Yocheved? It's better to say Miriam and Yocheved. And we saw yesterday, Rabotai, that we wanted to speak about what makes a person great is not the big things that he's able to do one or two times. It's the small things, Rabotai, that count. That's what makes a person great. And I want to read over here that anybody who thinks by doing big things, for example, trying to think that he's going to come one day and learn all night and the next week is off, or he's going to come on Shabbat and he thinks he's doing somebody a favor by learning half an hour or listening to shmooze and then he's off all week. Rabotai, these kind of things do not make you great. Incremental steps, consistency, this is what makes a person great. So he says over here, anybody who thinks by doing great things, that's what makes a person great. He says like this, all this is a very big mistake. Adrabah, just the opposite. Et ha'ma'asim ha'gidolim. Rabotai, when it comes to great things, when it comes to doing big things, kama pa'amim yoter kal la'asotam ki v'shem michabadim et adam b'nei atzmo b'nei acherim. A lot of times, Rabotai, when it comes to doing big things, one time fundraiser or one time giving 100,000 might be much easier because now you're being honored. To come to learn one time in the Shabbat because now you're being honored, people see you. These things might be much easier more than when you're doing little things. Aval, hama'asim ha'kitanim, but the small actions, Rabotai, la'asot ha'yashar v'atov ba'ofen tzenu v'amiti, to do things straight and good in a way where nobody knows about it. People do not have to know. Pay attention, Rabotai. When you come to shul, how do you say Asher Yatzar? You might stand by the tablet, by the wall, Asher Yatzar, with all the kavanah. You take away from your learning, you take away from everything you do. But when it's a song, Asher Yatzar, you're busy doing everything. But Rabotai, a person has to be eminent with himself, just like he behaves on the outside, he has to also behave in the inside. Rabotai, you have to be one with yourself. That's what he says over here. Pam acher pam. If you continuously do it one after another, and be'emed marim al gidulut ha'adam, Rabotai. This is what shows the greatness of a person, by trying to repeat the same thing over and over. You know, somebody told me that in basketball, he got a coach to train him how to play basketball. Listen to this guy, Rabotai. I said, so how do you start? You start from the 3-point line, you start from the foul line, where do you start? He says, underneath the basket. But everybody can shoot underneath the basket. That's what you think. Underneath the basket 100 times, 200 times. until your body becomes used to it. But it has to have those incremental steps, and then you only move from then on and become better and greater. That's what he says over here, Rabotai. Hem be'emet marim al gidulut ha'adam. Small things is really what shows the greatness of a person coming on time to davening, coming to learn before davening, doing all these small things when nobody sees you, Rabotai. When a person is over here 5 o'clock in the morning, who sees you? Only Hashem knows that you're here. Nobody else sees you, Rabotai. Shebehem nireh ad kamuhu oved Hashem. Or even in your house, you wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, or you go to sleep late learning Torah, or you bench Birkat Mazon when nobody sees you. There's only one person that sees you. Who? Hashem himself. And this is Rabotai, the test, is try to always do what's right in the eyes of Hashem, and not to chas v'shalom worry what people are going to say about us. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen. V'amen. Rabbi Chaim Igal.